In 1933, at the World's Fair on Chicago's lakefront, the Federal Housing Administration built a model for a home that it was going to build all over the country. This is that house. It was rebuilt a few years later here on a corner lot in River Forest, and you can see it's a piece of its era. It's got wonderful Art Moderne details like the ridging that looks like shutters, this wonderful modernist corner window, and then the panelized exterior made of limestone, that square grid you see. It really looks like something from the 1930s, the Art Moderne period. However, just a few years ago, it didn't look anything like this. It had been wrapped with some ugly additions. It had a mansard roof covering much of the detail. There was stucco wrapped around a lot of the house, and this nice terrace right behind me had been enclosed. The man who's selling it now bought it in order to make it look as it had originally, and he has done so. He's also added on to it because the original house was a little bit modest in size. Not modest in its artistic ambition, but it was a little small. So in making that addition, he was very sensitive to the origins while expanding the house. Let's go on in. Here inside you see a lot of terrific original details that make the interior feel as great as the exterior. That starts with that corner window we saw outside. From the inside, it creates a terrific view out into the neighborhood. You've also got this great steamship-style crown molding intact from the origins of the house, and a terrific handrail, also, of course, original, and really looking like the 1930s. Just as this curved wall does. There are curved walls outside the entrance of the house and here, and you'll see that in the addition he picked them up again. There are a few curved walls there as well. Another thing he picked up in the addition that you can really see here in the original is that the house really relied on indoor-outdoor space. There are not only a lot of windows, but here flanking the fireplace, two doorways out to the terrace, so you could flow in and out. Your guests could as well. And speaking of guests, if you're entertaining in a house like this, one problem you have with the original house is that the kitchen was teensy. So there was a detail he had to give up. This beautiful inset bookcase had a match right here. There were twins flanking the door. He had to sacrifice one in order to pull kitchen storage all the way out along here in the informal dining. The curved walls extend into the formal dining room, and you would never guess from looking at it, the formal dining is what was originally the garage. You can sort of tell when you see the wall of windows facing the street that that might be where the garage doors were, but it's now a very gracious dining room and comes into this family room. We're now in the extension of the house. One way you can tell is that here is one of the original walls still exposed, including a window. So this is a reminder of what the house originally was. And then there are reflections. They don't mimic, but they reflect what the house originally was. Details like these very horizontal shelves that pick up the piping you see outside. And these nice stack of windows that frames a view out over the neighborhood. There's a new garage, by the way, off at the back of the lot that picks up a lot of the lines of the house and that panelized exterior. Behind me, adjacent to this family room, is a room now used as the master bedroom. It could be used differently. It could be an office, media room, yoga room, whatever you wanted it to be, depending on your family configuration. But through these pocket doors is this very large room. It's got a nice big master bath. We should mention here the entire first floor now is ADA accessible. You can come in off the driveway and get all the way through the house without ever having to bump up over anything. And that was by design, of course, and that includes the bath here, as well as this master with no threshold. You've got very tall windows that open out to the view. There are doors to a terrace out back. And again, you can use this as the master suite, and might because it's the largest bedroom in the house now. The other three bedrooms are all on the second floor of the original part of the house, and if you didn't want to put the master down where we just were, you could put it here on the second floor because the original master bedroom had its own bath and of course still does. There's also a great hall bath with some terrific green Art Deco tiling that dates to the origins of the house. The three bedrooms have great original details, including those divided windows. In the new part of the house you get plate glass windows. Here you get the divided windows from the era. And the other thing that shows up within these three bedrooms is something we mentioned downstairs, that indoor-outdoor feeling. There are two terraces on the second floor, one off the third bedroom, and then this one that comes off both the master and the second bedroom. Nice place to sit at any time and enjoy the look of the house, look out over this fantastic neighborhood. But because of what we've just heard about the house, I prefer to sort of sit here and think of myself sitting at the 1933 World's Fair looking up at all the lights.